Welcome back. Just weeks before Rajasthan elections, the opposition versus the central agencies war has reignited. This after the Enforcement Directorate carried out raids on locations linked to Rajasthan Congress President Govind Singh Dotasra and independent MLA Om Prakash Hudla. Vaibhav Gehlot, son of incumbent Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, has also been summoned for questioning in a FEMA case on October 27 in Jaipur. Now, these raids are said to be in connection with the paper leaks and the PHED scam respectively. Both Dotasra and Hudla have been fielded again from their respective seats of Lakshmangarh in Sikar and Mahwa in Dosa in the upcoming polls. Ashok Gehlot linked the raids to his election campaign promises. On X, the social networking site, he said the ED's action against Dotasra and summons to his son come just a day after his government had announced guarantees for women while campaigning for the upcoming state assembly elections. He also added later that this is nothing but gundagardi of the BJP because the instructions are coming from the top to the investigating agencies. Now, the paper leak case pertains to the leak of a question paper for general knowledge of senior teacher grade 2 competitive exam in 2022. This was scheduled to be conducted by the Rajasthan Public Service Commission on December 21, 22 and 24. Now, the accused allegedly provided the question paper to appearing candidates for as much as 8 to 10 lakh rupees. Multiple arrests have been made as far as this case is concerned, and properties and cash worth crores have also been seized and attached so far. So this is not a fresh case. The PHED case is a little bit more recent. It pertains to irregularities in the Jal Jeevan mission to the tune of thousands of crores. The ED had initiated this investigation on the basis of an FIR, mind you, registered by the Anti-Corruption Bureau of Rajasthan itself against individual contractors, Padamchand Jain and others. These contractors are accused of bribing public servants to secure illegal protection, tenders, getting their bills approved and even concealing irregularities related to contracts with the PHED. Remember, the PHED is the Rajasthan's Public Health Engineering Department, the authority which was to lay the drinking water pipeline. So fundamentally, both of these cases are pure corruption cases, and in some have even alleged that those accused in these cases are close to men in power. So the question we're asking is this: are these cases to be looked at purely as cases of corruption, or, as the opposition alleges, this is misuse of agencies because it's targeting of a government or of a party just before that state is going to polls?
आज जो स्थिति है वो चिंता नहीं हो सकती। सवाल है कि पूरे देश के अंदर आतंक मचा रखा है, आतंक मचा रखा है।
वर्तमान की अशोक गहलोत सरकार ने भ्रष्टाचार के सभी मानबिंदुओं को पार करके नए बेंचमार्क्स ऐसे बना दिए।
Our guest joining us, Tom Varakan of the BJP, Bhavya Narsimhamurthy of the Congress party is also with us. Bhavya, let me begin with you. Both of these cases are not fresh cases that have been filed against any of your leaders. They have come to light in the past. In fact, the PHED case, which is a more recent case, your minister concerned in the state has said that there should be an investigation. Sachin Pilot has been asking for probe as far as the paper leak the paper leak case is concerned. So now that finally the wheels are moving and they move when they move, why is the Congress party alleging that this is some sort of a vendetta? Because these cases are not fresh cases. They were filed before, and one of those cases was filed by a Rajasthan authority.
So I would like to begin by giving a fact. During UPA government, all those raids, IT raids or ED raids that have happened on politicians, 54% of them were on opposition leaders, among them. During NDA government, they have raided 122 politicians, of which 115 are from opposition. Almost 7% are from opposition. Do you think isn't this too good to be a coincidence? That 97% raids happen on opposition leaders, opposition party politicians. This fact can speak for itself.
Okay. Do you want me to take this to Mr. Varakan? You raised a good point. Let me take this to Mr. Varakan, then I'll come back to my question that I asked you about the facts of these cases. Mr. Varakan, please respond. This is a percentage which will raise eyebrows, because since this government has come to power, corruption, quote unquote, has been found only with opposition parties and leaders.
Shivani, Winston Churchill said, lies and statistics go together. Now, this statistic that is being presented is not factually correct. Investigations have been dropped against convenient part of their team. And let me tell you something more. This is an ongoing investigation. This has been started off by the local CID investigating team. It is not a suo motu investigation. The reality is, this magician called Gehlot thinks that he can put dust in the eyes of the people and go on with corruption. Our manifesto clearly says we have zero tolerance on corruption, and we are doing what we should do. There's a simultaneous raid going on in Karnataka against the contractors. And what is the result? DK Shivkumar comes on record saying this is politically motivated.
Okay,
when the investigating agency does its work, there is political motive for cover up.
So let me come in. I don't want to go in various directions. Bhavya, I'll come back to you, but I want to press Mr. Varakan on the point that you raised. What does it say if over 95% of the raids only happen or target, as the opposition would say, opposition leaders? Does that mean nothing?
Is that to me?
Yes, Mr. Varakan. Also the timing. Yes, these cases have been going on and the investigations have been on for, let's say, a few months in both of these cases. But the timing of the raid is just timed to the coming elections.
We do not control the timeline of investigation. It's a long drawn process. Officers are working on it. This is not a banana republic that you can arrive at a case and say, well, on the day before election, that, well, you're all guilty. This is an ongoing process. If they are not guilty, what are they worried about?
No, because the process can become a punishment. Sir, I'm sorry to say the BJP government does face this question. Maybe you have to convince the public a little bit more that there is no control as far as the government is concerned. But in some of these financial irregularities, it comes under the the various branches of the government. So it cannot be said that the government has no control.
Shivani,
but you have to convince the public that this is not being timed to elections.
Shivani, let me tell you, I'm with authority saying the government of India, the Modi ji's government, does not interfere with ongoing investigation or does not initiate investigation. It is the duty of the investigating agencies to do what it is doing. We do not stop any investigation. We do not interfere into any investigation. What are you saying about Karnataka now? Karnataka, there's a raid going on. Is there any election going on there?
Okay.
There's no election going on there.
Let Bhavya respond.
49 crores was collected, and how much money was caught in raids in Rajasthan will shock you. And where did this money come? This is not Gehlot the magician working and trying to get a rabbit out of the hat. What is happening is cash is the proof. Eating the pudding is the proof. Let's get that straight.
Bhavya.
Yeah, there is this SOP that BJP follows. When they are in power, they target politicians. Only that's one of their ways of intimidating politicians of opposition parties. That's exactly why they keep attacking and raiding these politicians. Whether they get caught or whether they are guilty or not, that's a different question. If they are guilty, good, they have been raided. But most of these cases have been withdrawn.
At least you realize that. If they are guilty, they must be punished. But there's no timeline for investigation.
My second point.
There is no timeline for investigation. If you're out of power also, they will investigate. If you're in power also, they will investigate.
Right.
But you're
Mr.
not
Varakan, let her finish. Let her finish. I'll come back to you.
That is the reality.
What happened
you have not been able to cover. Where did this money come from? 10 lakhs for a question paper.
Now
what is the merit involved for the student?
Mr. Varakan, I'll come back. I'll come to the facts of the issue.
In that state.
No, I'll come to the facts of the issue, and they cannot be brushed under the carpet. There are, of course, real problematic corruption that has come to light in both of these cases, and the Rajasthan government has not denied that yes, there is a bona fide case here in either of those cases. But let Bhavya finish, then I'll come back to that question.
Coming to these contractors, the raids that are happening on private contractors, the very reason we said that was politically motivated is because the BJP started connecting these contractors, the private contractors, to Congress party, even when IT department themselves released a press note where nowhere they have, connected these contractors to any politicians of any party. But BJP and JDS together, they started blaming Congress, saying these contractors are somehow close to these Congress politicians.
Okay.
And
that charge has been made by the BJP also in the past. Bhavya, let's talk about Rajasthan. I know you come from Karnataka, but let's talk about Rajasthan. Let's not get diverted about Karnataka alone. Yes, that's a side note. As Mr. Varakan said, raids are happening there post-elections also. But on Rajasthan, is it fundamentally not correct to say that both of these cases the government has not denied? In one, there is the case of question paper leak. The government has not denied. As I said, your own Congress leader has been demanding strictest punishment as far as question paper leaks are concerned. The other is a fundamental corruption of the kind we don't hope to find in India anymore, where, there were false contracts given to companies who were not deserving of laying those pipes for the Jal Jeevan mission in the most fundamental of schemes under the Rajasthan government. So let's focus on that aspect as well, that this is utter corruption we are talking about.
Yes. If there is corruption, there is no this thing that we are saying there should not be investigations or anything. But the very timing of it. In Karnataka, of course, the whole India will be facing elections in the next 8 months. We all know that. And BJP is a zero here. They don't even have an opposition leader. That's exactly why on Karnataka also they are attacking, whether it is Rajasthan, the elections are almost here. That's
so exactly by that logic, because you're saying in 8 months there's going to be a pan-India election, by that logic, the agencies will never be able to do anything.
Because they are seeing where the Congress is very strong. Karnataka, Rajasthan, here we are very strong. That's exactly why they're targeting these states.
Okay, let Mr. Varakan respond to that.
Why does this happen in UP? Why doesn't this happen in other states?
Okay, anyways, let him respond.
Let me tell this lady from Karnataka, when she has raised this issue, 650 crores had to be paid to the contractors. And the deal was that a commission would be paid for the release of this amount. Settlement was on. And now she says there are some elections in the neighboring. Elections are not in Sri Lanka. They're in Telangana. I admit that money was for Telangana. You are yourself admitting elections in the neighboring states. And when the elections are in neighboring states, they are packed on the way to Telangana. So let's admit the corruption is the root cause. You accused us of a 40% commission. Here we have a situation of 80% commission.
When you are in government, you had a way to fund your elections outside Karnataka through 40%. Now that you are not there in government, you want to raid private contractors, blackmail them, and make money for your elections in other states. The next 5 states that are going to elections this year.
Strange logic. That's strange logic.
What BJP does.
We are investigating those contractors for your information, not to set them on a honeymoon or anything. We are sentencing, their investigation is there to send them to jail on corruption. Please try and understand when we have power or no power, we have enough of funds to fund our elections. Here you have to supply money to the neighboring state for elections.
In the 12,000 crores that has come through electoral bonds,
is the main dealer in the whole exercise. You are familiar with Mr. D.K. Shivkumar. If the contractors are raided, what happens? See, ये मैं हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ, उसको मिर्ची क्यों लगता है? अगर
Sorry sir, I don't understand Hindi. Please speak English. This is an English channel. I am a South Indian. Please speak in English.
This is the question I'm asking about.
Because I don't understand Hindi.
No, one second.
Okay, that's a very convenient exercise.
Can I come in? Can I just come in? Bhavya, I have final few minutes. I just want to give you uninterrupted 30 seconds. See, fundamentally the question is that these cases have come to light while the Congress government was in power. These cases have nothing to do with the BJP either in the state or at the center. They've come to light organically. Your own leaders have talked about these cases. They have not denied bona fide the facts on ground on which the investigations are carrying on. Now, your only fundamental point cannot be that, oh, don't raid us now because there are elections coming. That's the point.
If the Congress government has not denied that this happened, that shows we are very transparent.
Okay,
right?
Then where does the vendetta come?
But I would like to respond to the gentleman who spoke just before me about, election funding. He very honestly agreed that they have enough funds for elections. But where did they get those funds? 12,000 crores that came through electoral bonds by blackmailing or, through their...
Bhavya, listen, I don't want to go down that road because you can also not prove those charges that you're making. One second, let's just
corruption is their blood.
Okay, fair enough. That's a political answer you're giving to your political opponent. You didn't answer my question. You are saying we are not denying that this investigation should happen, that corruption did take place. Then what is the point? Then the raids would happen when they happen. You can't time them according to your convenience either.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
The same thing is happening in Karnataka, right? Isn't it too good to be coincidence?
Why is Shiv Kumar so worried? Why is Shiv Kumar so worried?
So what is the connection? I'm not understanding. One by one, please. One by one. I'm not understanding. I thought the connection. No, one second. Bhavya, I thought the grouse that the Congress party had in Rajasthan, what Ashok Gehlot said in Rajasthan was that because elections are coming, because I'm making certain announcements during election campaigning, this is why my son has been summoned. This is why my leaders are being raided. Now, that is pertaining to Rajasthan. I'm not sure how Karnataka fits into this. But what is the question over the timing in Rajasthan?
Like we said, if there is corruption, even our leaders have said.
Okay.
But look at the timing and whom they are raiding. The connections they are making.
Okay.
And why there are raids only in states where opposition is ruling. These are the main questions that even media should be asking the people.
Okay, let me ask him this. The timing is always suspicious. This happens in every state that goes to elections. Mr. Varakan, you have to accept that. In every state where there are elections pending or approaching, somehow central agencies swoop in predominantly on opposition leaders. That's a pattern.
That is the pattern because there is corruption down there. Karnataka, Shiv Kumar is reacting on the contractor's raid. What has he got to do with the contractor? And as to the question of Rajasthan, one paper, Shivani, cost 10 lakhs.
There was none.
You and me would never have passed our school if this is the situation. 10 lakhs, my father cannot pay for a question paper. And so is the merit being dissuaded. And they say this is election time. What has election got to do with this?
No, but Mr. Varakan, don't you believe, Mr. Varakan, I have final 30 seconds. Don't you believe that there is a crisis, if crisis is too strong a word, but to a question of credibility of these agencies that seem to be working, as I said, according to this quote-unquote pattern. You've not been able to convince the public that these cases are naturally progressing because a lot of these cases actually never go to any finality. We never hear about them after these raids.
Shivani, let me complete this.
Very quickly.
Every murderer's defense is I did not commit the murder. Even when they say that, well, I'm going to get married, why are you after me? This is vengeful. Now, the point here is, no murderer will ever say that I am wrong or confess. But then there is always this cover, elections in my state. Karnataka, there is no elections. And if this is all India raids going on, this is nothing to do with, you don't want the agencies to work.
With the highest majority.
You don't want the agencies to work. let
where
them close
BJP
the door
doesn't
and
exist.
go off.
That's
because
not what I'm
Shivkumar
saying,
wants
but they
more
should
money.
also be seen.
Shivkumar
There should be no
wants more.
public perception issue as far as agencies are concerned, and that's a question that is emerging now as we approach the general elections too. I do thank both of our guests for joining us. Ultimately, it's a matter of how the public perceives it in Rajasthan. Do they believe this is right action or unjust action? Of course, we'll continue to get you the latest on this story and more. Time for me to slip into a very short break. On the other side, Rahul Shivshankar joins you.